Good morning, aunties. How everybody is doing today. I am actually here with baby Kingston, and I wanted to still go ahead and do the tag. I know Suzanne baby tags, do we feel like we are being exploited because of our love for these babies or these dolls? And I had originally did a video, and for some reason halfway through the video it was like silent. So I took it as a sign that maybe it was probably best that I re-recorded that video and did it over. So here I am today. I'm going to basically give my opinion on it. So after looking at other people's videos and their thoughts on it, one in particular, I think it was this little piggy 41. I think she kind of, I don't know if it was her or someone else, kind of gave me another perspective to look at it. So it's not that my answer have changed, but the way it's made me more open to another way to look at it. So anyway, I don't, when they say, okay, you can't be exploited because these dolls are not a want. I mean, not a need, they're a want, so we don't have to buy them. That is absolutely correct. However, I guess maybe exploited is not the right word. But I feel like we are being, the prices are being gauged by or increased because of the emotions attached to the dolls. There are women out here that can't have children. There are women that children are older. Well, I've started over now, but originally I fell into that category where you may be starting to feel that empty nest syndrome, or and plus on top of the fact of just loving dolls, because I'm in between the both. And it's not, some people say, oh, it's just like going to buy a Coach bag or whatever. It really is not the same. I don't think nobody have an emotional attachment to their purse and be like, oh, I gotta sit and rock my Coach bag or my Dolce & Gabbana bag. I don't think it's the same. I mean, no offense to whoever said that. I can't even remember who said that. I don't think that these dolls can be put in that same category. They are more of an emotional attachment. Sometimes the babies look like our children and stuff like that, so we're like, oh, I gotta have that one. That one looks just like so-and-so when they were a baby, and just stuff like that. And I think that over the years there has been a higher demand for them. There has been a higher demand for them, so artists have been taking advantage of it. And I mean, at the end of the day, yes, I get it. I mean, it's a business for most of them. It's how they make their money. And like any other thing, if it's a higher demand for it, you put a higher sticker price on it, people gonna pay it, you push the limit. I guess for us, it's just because a lot of, when everything originated, it was almost like people did it out of a passion or a love for the dolls, a love for the art, and they wanted to share it, and it wasn't more like a career for a lot of people, and the prices wasn't as high. And then some people are saying that, well, the supplies have went up. The supplies haven't went up that much, trust me. And then you say, oh, we gotta add in the paint, we gotta add in this, we gotta add in that. You don't use that much paint. AA babies cost way more than Caucasian babies, so I feel it a little bit harder than some of the others. And I think that, I mean, when I say I mean people that collect African American dolls feel it a little bit harder than even the Caucasian babies, because they charge us a lot more because they're harder to get. So I don't know if I'm kind of losing you guys and I'm all over the place, but my point is that yes, we are being taken for our emotions. There are still some artists out here that do it for the love of the art and the love of the dolls. There are some that still trying to make a living but not like really overcharge you. I have some of my favorite artists that I really love, and some of them are on the pricey end, and I feel like their work is worth a lot more than the others that's on the market. Some of them are average, you know, but you know, as generally speaking, I mean, when I see a reborn selling for $3,000, it literally makes my stomach flip. And I know a lot of artists will argue with me about that, but I guess because I collect both and I love both, but I just cannot and will not and refuse to believe that a reborn doll should cost that much, because you're never gonna get the money back if you have to resell it. And you know, someone brought up a good point about the mortgages. Like when they estimate the value, it's based off a resale value, and a lot of people be like, oh, I don't plan to ever resell and all. That's great, and don't get me wrong, I mean, it's kind of like I'm contradicting myself when I say this, because I try to look at it open-minded from all angles. From an artist's perspective, you are unique. Let me say this. It's not really no black and white area. Like, I think Suzanne Baby's commented on somebody's video. It really is it's a very tricky subject, because there are some artists that work is so exquisite. And like, who is that? Let me see. What is that lady name? Good Lord, I can't think of her. But she do African American babies. And I saw her, the Angela Flicka. Angela Flicka. Now I saw her work in person, and it looks just like on camera, except for a few of her babies did have a bit of a chalky look that kind of concerned me of the longevity of it. I'm not knocking her work, because trust me, I really like her work. But what I'm about to say is that her work is so exquisite. Like, she really brings that doll to life. Like, it is like, I mean, her amazing kit literally made me want to just jump through the screen and get that doll. Now, that doll should not be priced at $700, and it should not be priced at $800. Yeah, I can see somebody literally paying $1,000 for that doll, and it's a reborn. Sometimes it's based off the size, you know, it can. But the ones that I'm seeing that's going up for that price, just plain basic vanilla type painting. Like, guys, if you want the setup, I mean, it feels like a lot of people are paying for the display, you know, the presentation, the clothes that the doll is wearing. They're not really even looking at the art. But okay, that's going off subject a little bit. But I'm just saying that reborns, to my opinion, we are being overcharged in a lot of situations based off of the kit. If it's a sold out kit, if it's a limited edition kit that's very popular, we're gonna pay a lot of money for it if you want it. And at the end of the day, the artists are right. If you don't pay it, somebody else will. And if you don't want it, you know what? Shut up and move on. You know, get over it. And that applies to myself. But rather I'm gonna have an opinion about it, yeah, I'm gonna still have an opinion about it. Matter of fact, you know, one of the big time prototype artists unfriended me last year around this time after the doll show, because I made a video and I was talking about the doll show and how I looked at these babies and they were looked like they were worth no more than the $300 range. But people go crazy over the work. And yeah, and so she got wind of that and she unfriended me, and that's fine, because I don't care. There's a lot of artists out here that does exquisite work. You know, people get upset with me when I talk about my Claire Taylor silicone dolls because she's standing a bracket all by herself. I think that, I'll be honest, I think for a silicone baby, for a doll itself, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 is a lot of freaking money. I think that is a lot for a doll. And when I first came into the community, I said there's no dang on way I would pay over $2,000 for a silicone baby. And here I am laying, you know, next to Kingston. But you know what? When I got to see that baby in person, and when I went to the doll shows and saw other people work compared to Claire Taylor's work, I was like, you know what? She deserved every penny. But we're talking about reborns, but it applies to silicones too. I've had silicone baby that charged the same amount as Claire Taylor, and it's nowhere near the worth of Claire Taylor dolls. The doll was lumpy. The doll had, it wasn't realistically sculpted in certain areas. I mean, it didn't move and flow right. I mean, it was just different things about the doll. The painting was not great. But yet people pay $6,000 for it. So what are we paying for? Name brand. We're paying for the name brand artist. We're paying for popularity. We're paying for our emotions. We're paying for all kinds of stuff. And who is raising the prices? Both the artist and us, because we are paying it, so they're gonna keep doing it. And I thought it was another good point, and this video may cut into 2 parts because I have a lot to say here. Another good point is that if you can make your own reborns and save yourself money, they may not look as good as as real artists, but if you can love it, then you can save yourself a whole lot of money, I'm telling you. All right, so I did cut off. So yeah, that is my plan, is to be comfortable enough with my work to where I will be able to reborn my own babies in the future. And yes, if it's a special baby, I'm definitely gonna go to a true artist and have them, you know, create a baby for me. And I'm not opposed to spending a lot of money for a baby if it's worth it and the quality. I just think that it is true in a lot of cases that we are, you know, paying for, you know, artists' egos. If they feel like so-and-so is making XYZ amount of money, they should be making more because their work is better, which a lot of times might be true. But then we're paying for their egos. And that's not fair to the collector, but hey, such is life. I think that there was something else I wanted to say in regards to this, but I forgot. My mind is a little distracted. I don't know, but yeah, anyway, I know that it seems, you know, oh, I know, one of the other things that I heard that was brought up was people saying high-end dolls and high-end, you know, artists and and I may use that term sometime, but when I say high-end, I mean high quality, not the name itself. You can scratch the name off of a doll, and if the doll is made good, then yes, I want it. If it's, you know, realistic and well done, I don't care who made it. And I'm one of those people that will buy from newer artists as well. But I do see new artists coming out brand new, charging just as much as artists that have, you know, worked their way up the ladder to deserve to charge that amount of money. Because in this art, it's not about just painting. You got to be able to produce quality where this paint is going to stay on the doll and it's going to last and the hair is not going to fall out and all these other issues that could come up with reborns or silicones, you know. But my video is not to tell people, you know, don't spend your money or how to spend your money or who to spend it on. That's why I haven't named any artists, so to speak, as far as like the ones that I think aren't worth the money that they charge. It's because I'm not trying to knock their business or their hustle or whatever you want to call it. I'm just, you know, speaking from a collector's standpoint. I think that eventually, though, people are going to get tired. The market's going to crash, and the prices will go down a little bit. More people will begin to paint for themselves, or, you know, with the silicone babies, I see a lot of people starting to buy, you know, lesser quality dolls and lesser quality, you know, quality made dolls and stuff like that, because they can't afford the good ones. So I think it will eventually go to that route. Now with silicone babies, because of the fact that even with the lesser quality one, you're paying in the thousands, I just refuse to do that with at this point. I refuse to do that. I will buy a less expensive one where I don't have to sacrifice the quality so much. Maybe it won't be as nicely painted as, you know, a Claire Taylor doll, or a who else paint nice? I don't know, Sylvia Manning or whatever. Maybe it won't be, you know, as detailed as those artists or something, but the silicone is not the kind that's going to be peeling and falling apart. Now I would sacrifice on that especially if I'm just starting out and starting out with the silicone or whatever. But anyway, I've kind of went to a whole nother point, but my answer is yes. Maybe it should be worded a little bit different. Maybe exploited may not be the correct term for some people, but we know what Susan meant about exploited. And I do believe that her son was very accurate on it. I really do. I think that's the way it go. I have had artists try to manipulate me into purchases, and I remember one artist that I loved so much, I thought was amazing, and I thought I would never collect their work, and it would be a dream to collect their work. A reborn artist, and this artist inboxed me and said, hey, I'm not gonna be doing business long, so I know that you always comment on my babies and you really love them, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to buy one. Just make me, you know, shoot me a price. And I said, well, what I can afford, I know you can't. She's like, I'll do layaway, blah blah blah, and sometimes I run specials and all this and stuff. So we agreed on a price, and it still wasn't cheap because I just started. I was only paying $250 at this point for my reborns, and it was like, I don't know, like a $700, $800 doll. I don't know, can't remember the exact price. Don't quote me on that price, but it was somewhere up there, like double what I was used to paying, or triple. And so I was like, oh my God, am I really gonna do this? So I did, you know, and I was like, so they took, you know, longer than expected, etc., etc. Lack of communication, got the baby. I was jacked up on it, and the artist was like very cocky and arrogant, and was like, well, you know, I said, can you just fix the eyes, because you could look through the baby head and see this, like the stuffing and stuff, because the eye wasn't flush against the vinyl like it should be. And she got an attitude, just sent it back, and blah 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 blah. This lady, anyway, long story short, I almost got like scammed over this doll. She's still in the community, never left. Apparently every month she's leaving the community and never is going to do dolls anymore. And I thought it was just me. I got ripped apart because I went after her for my money, because I sent the doll back. She sold the doll and I still didn't get my money back. And I had to go, you know, through PayPal, claim and all this stuff, threaten to do a chargeback. And I mean, that was my first time, you know, having a hard time with the artist, and it was someone that I really admired, and it just like ripped me to pieces. But other collectors, because she was a popular artist, they jumped on the bandwagon, and not knowing the details of the facts, they tore me a new one. They were like, oh, she's this and she's that, and I was like really new to the community, and it was just like, wow. So a lot of times I've learned too with these bigger time artists too is that their customer service suck, and they're big time witches. And I'm being nice when I say that. Like, they don't feel like they're mess things. They talk to you any kind of way, they do you any kind of way, and you're supposed to just take it because you're supposed to want their work. So along with the fact that you're paying high prices, you're getting crappy customer service along with it. Now that doesn't go for all of them, because I've had some high-end or high quality, high price artists that was like the best. Like, just everything is professional, done, boop, boop, boop. So yeah, but anyway,